You've been posting a lot of content and you're not really seeing that organic reach anymore and you're feeling quite deflated. I know it is something that's a bummer, but I want to give you some tips on how you can get more organic reach for your content and encourage you to keep posting content, because this is something that you absolutely need to keep doing in order to make sure you're connected with your audience and you're reaching the right people that's going to become customers and clients of yours coming up. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Marlon. I do content like this to help you build and grow your business or your brand so you can reach the right people. I will leave some links in the description to some resources that you can grab hold of, as well as some other content that you'll find useful also. So you can check those out after. Let me start things off by saying that it is not unusual for you to be getting low views and low likes or engagement in general on your organic content that you're posting to social media platforms, especially if your type of content is for your business and you're trying to reach people to turn them into leads or potential customers. You're likely not going to have that mass appeal like somebody that have, let's say, a comedy channel on YouTube or somebody that's posting about something that's sensationalist. It's just natural for someone who has mass appeal, to kind of get more views. So I don't want you to actually think it's unusual. Normally what happens is that when you're posting content for your business or your brand, you're more posting around a particular niche that doesn't have such a large audience. At least you should be focusing down on something specific that you can get some traction within a niche. And when you do so, I'm assuming your goal is to actually get leads, people that are interested in only that, and they're looking to solve a particular problem. And therefore, you want to attract the right people. If you then go out of your way to do content that is going to have mass appeal because you think that you want to get these vanity metrics in terms of having high views and high likes and so on, and people look at it and say, oh yeah, you're doing so well because you have this many views. It is actually a smokes and mirrors kind of thing, because you might be getting views, but those views are not turning into actual clients because these views are not coming from the right people who are interested in what you have to offer, and therefore they're not likely to give you business. So you don't want to fall into that trap. So I want to jump into some ways to hopefully encourage you to still create content in a way that is going to be more beneficial to your business without you feeling like it's not successful simply because you're not seeing those vanity metrics. Here are some of the tips that I've got for you. So tip number one is to give you permission to say that it's okay to have low view counts and lower engagement on your content, and for you to stick with content that your audience is going to find useful and that they are specifically looking for help with. I kind of touched on this earlier. So when you do that, make sure that it is targeted to them and you're not going off track, because you're going to find that the people that do view the content are the people that are going to take action on it, or most likely to take action on it. Tip number two is to actually do more long-term content strategy as opposed to looking at what you can get for now. If you do content that's more evergreen, meaning that no matter when people are looking at the content, it is still relevant, you're more likely to stay relevant for longer, because people are always searching for the same kind of things. They always have the same kind of problems. They're always asking those kinds of questions. As opposed to if you do something that is more off a trend, it might be here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing. You might get some results or some views. Again, it might not be even the right views, but then it fizzles out. It just goes away after a day or two or a few weeks at best, right? But if you do long-term content, which is evergreen, then you're more likely to have those pieces of content work for you, especially if it's a video that's on a platform like YouTube. You can benefit from that for years and years to come. Number three is to focus on platforms that naturally give you organic reach in the first place. An example of this would be YouTube. YouTube is primarily a search engine, if you ask me. People are going to YouTube to search for solution to problems. They're asking questions, just like they would go to any other search engine like Google, Bing, or Yahoo. People are directly searching in YouTube. How many times have you watched a tutorial on YouTube? How many times have you gone there to look at how to do something or how to hire someone for a particular service or whatever the case might be? All sorts of searches are happening on YouTube, and they need organic content to serve up to these people are searching, so people can still use the platform. So YouTube are not as aggressive with not giving you organic reach simply because they need the content. So I would actually concentrate on a platform like that. LinkedIn is also another example of a platform that's giving really good organic reach. If your client base or your type of customers, your ideal customers are the type of people that are on LinkedIn, it's a little bit more buttoned up and corporate. If that's the type of client you're after, it's more of a B2B platform. It's an ideal place for you to get organic reach because, again, they want people to engage and stick around on the platform. So the more high quality content they have on there, or good quality content they have on there, the better the chance that you'll show up for things that people might be looking for, and it might even get suggested to them. If you look at a platform like Facebook, on the other hand, Facebook has very little, if any at all, when it comes to organic reach. Facebook is more of a pay-to-play platform, meaning that they're looking for people to pay for ads, essentially, to reach people. No matter how big your following is, you might only get a small percentage of them to see a post that you put on Facebook, unlike the other platforms that I've mentioned before. So look at using those platforms that are naturally going to give you organic reach. Tip number 4 is to use newer features that are released on a platform. So for example, when Facebook released Reels or YouTube released Shorts, people were getting crazy good views on there because it's quite new, and quite frankly, they're testing the platform, or they're testing the feature on the platform. Therefore, they're allowing more users to get more views and more interaction or engagement with those features on the platform, and therefore you're likely to get better results. So if a platform's added a new feature, you want to jump on there as an early adopter and try and see how well you can do with that, because it's only a matter of time before they start limiting the amount of organic reach you get with those types of features. The next one that I would like to mention is to repurpose your content. This is a big one. You might feel like, you know what, I have this content on this platform and that's the end of it. You can actually repurpose your long form content, especially things like podcasts or longer videos. If you've got some kind of training or whatever it is, you can chop those up into pieces that you can share in smaller bite-sized portions on other social media platforms, or turn them into text posts or blog posts or whatever it might be. You can repurpose these pieces of content. There are platforms out there that's dedicated to doing this, so it's way easier to do this than it was before, and there's no reason why you can't repurpose your content. So I'd say if you're not doing that already, start doing that as part of your publishing routine when you have a long form piece of content, to make sure that you are repurposing pieces of that is really going to highlight some key points and some golden nuggets that's going to ultimately give you more reach, because it's making that same piece of content work and go further for you without you having to necessarily put in a ton more of extra work. So these are the things that I have for you. If you feel like this has been useful to you, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Feel free to reward me with a like on the video on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe as well if you're listening on YouTube or in your dedicated podcasting app. I'd love to have you check out some of my other pieces of content. Thank you, and I'll catch you in the next one.